December 2021. So we check the question for December 2021. That is supposed to be question number 2. Yeah, so instead of that one, the same question had also been done. The same question had also been done in the sitting of. So we can use the one for the sitting of May 2021. That same question is there in the sitting of May 2021. May 2021, question number 2, part C. May 2021. We can go through the question number 2, part C. We can go through the question number 2, part C. So mine's on page 27. Mine is on page 27. So the question reads that Zakaria Musomi, an investor, holds a portfolio of 4 risk assets. Holds a portfolio of 4 risk assets and a deposit in the risk-free asset. A deposit in the risk-free asset. So you are doing the question for May. So this one is May 2021. It is question 2B. We are doing the question number 2, part C. So the question reads that Zakaria Musomi, an investor, holds the following portfolio of 4 risk assets and a deposit in the risk-free asset. A deposit in the risk-free asset. So which question did we do? Well, we were supposed to do the one for which sitting? I don't have someone in the physical class who was in that class. So kindly let me know the last 2 questions that we did. Kindly let me know the last 2 questions that we did. I don't have anyone who was in the last class, in the physical class. So I will only rely on what you will tell me to know where I had stopped. Someone to let me know. So we had also done the one for May 2018, question 2, part C, November 2015. We did also December . So now that we have done those questions, what I would also like to find out, I want us now to check the one for the pilot paper. Pilot paper, December 2021, question number 2. The pilot paper, December 2021, question number 2. So I suspect that should be now the next question if we had done those other questions. So we should now go to, let's confirm if we did this question for December 2021, question number 2. So it is on the pilot paper. On the pilot paper for December 2021, question number 2. So did we do that question? Yeah, so we can now do the question for December 2021, the pilot paper, question number 2. So that question 2 reads that OCAD, an investment specialist, has been entrusted with shillings 10 million by a collective investment scheme. By a collective investment scheme, that is the unit trust, and instructed to invest money optimally over the 2-year period. Invest money optimally over the 2-year period. So parts of the instruction are that, number 1, the funds be invested in one or more of the 4 specified projects. And the money market. So you can invest in the 4 projects and also the money market. Not number 2, 4 projects are not divisible. The 4 projects are not divisible and cannot be postponed. Not number 3, the unit requires a 24% over the 2 years. So that is the return. Then the following are the details of the investment in the project. The following are the details of the investment in the projects. So, and the money market. They gave you initial cost. They have also given you the return over the 2 years. Initial cost and also the returns over the 2 years. Expected standard deviation of the returns over the 2 years is given as follows. So they gave you project 1, project 2, project 3, project 4, and also money market. Correlation coefficient of returns over the 2 years are as follows. Correlation coefficient of the returns over the 2 years are as follows. So they gave you between the projects and the market portfolio, between the projects and the money market, also between money market and market portfolio. So over the 2-year period, risk-free rate is estimated to be 16%. The market portfolio return is given as 27%, and the variancing of the return on the market is 100%. So by analyzing the 2 assets portfolio, use mean variance dominance rule to evaluate how OCAD should invest shillings 10 million. But B, determine the betas required rates of return for the portfolio. Then use CAPM as the pricing, capital asset pricing model to evaluate how he should invest the 10 million. So that's now the question. That question is divided into 2. That part A is on the portfolio theory. The part B is on CAPM. That question is divided into 2. Part A is on the portfolio theory. Part B is on the CAPM. So there are 2 limiting factors in that question. There are 2 limiting factors in that question. You see in the first paragraph, the capital available, they have said is 10 million. The capital available, they have said it is 10 million. So when you combine the 2 projects, remember there are 4 projects and also the money market. When you combine them, they should either add up to 10 million or less. Then when you go to the note number 3, they gave you a return of 24%. So that combination you come up with should either give you a return of 24% or more. If it is less, we shall be able to do it, to reject. But first, let us get the project combination that we are going to accept. We need to come up with the project combination that we should be able to accept. So this is now the project combination. The project combination or pair. We start by coming up with the project combination or pair. When you are combining the projects, they should have a maximum of 10 million. Then, whatever that you combine will give you a return of 24%. Also, when you are combining them, total amount for investment must be equal to 10 million. So we can start with a combination of project 1 plus project 2. Project 1 plus project 2. Project 1 is 6 million. Project 2 is 4 million. So it is giving us a total of 10 million. So project 1 and 2 is able to be undertaken because it has a total of 10 million. We can also combine project 2 plus project 3 because project 2 has got 4 millions, project 3 has got 6 million. So they add up to 10 million. So the combination you pick, they have given you in the first paragraph that it has a total of 10 million. So when you combine any two projects, they should give you 10 million. Then there is also project 2 and project 4. We can also combine project 2 and project 4. Project 2 requires 4 million. Project 2 requires 4 millions. Remember, project 4 requires 6 millions. So the combination is able to add up to 10 million. Remember, there were 4 projects under the money market. So you can combine all of them together with the one for the money market. So now, apart from that, we can also go to number 4. Number 4 is where you can also combine project 1 plus the money market. We can also combine project 1 and the money market. You see, under the money market, they say it has a minimum of 1 million. You have seen project A, 6 million, project 2, 4 million, project 3, 6 million, project 4, 6 million, but money market has a minimum of 1 million. So because project 1 has 6 million, that means the money market will get 4 million because you can invest a minimum of 1 million in the money market, but the maximum, as long as when you combine it with the other project, they add up to 10 million. That's now what will happen. That's why the money market should take the 4 million because they have said money market in the brackets. Are you able to see the 1 million minimum? Yeah, so you can combine the money market with any other project as long as when you add the value of the other project plus the remaining balance, it should be the one for the money market so that they add up to 10 million because it should be a minimum of 1 million. So now that this one has taken 6 million, then we give it 4 million to make it 10 because the total is 10 million like that. Then you can also invest in the project 2 plus the money market like that. You can also go to project 2 and also the money market. So project 2, it is meant to be 4 million. So if project 2 has taken 4 million, what's the remaining balance to make it 10 million? So that means money market will receive 6 million to give it 10 millions like that. Then there is also project 6. Project 6, we have, not combination about 6. We have project 3 and also the money market. So project 3 requires 6 million. Money market is 4 million there. So that is also a total of 10 million. Then you can also combine project 4 plus the money market. So project 4 is also the 6 million. So that means the money market 4 million. So that they add up to 10 million. So that information is as per the first paragraph, where they say that Awkward Investment Specialist has been entrusted with 10 million shillings. So he can only invest a maximum of 10 million. So the combination he selects should add up to 10 million. Then there was another factor that was affecting the combination. The other factor, you go to the note number 3. Unit requires a return of 24% over the 2 years. So after selecting this combination, because they add up to 10 million, we also need to calculate expected return of each of these combination. We need to come up with expected return of this combination. So any combination which will give you a return of 24 or more, we shall accept. But if it give you a return of less than 24, we shall then do what? Reject. That's now another item. There are 2 limiting factors in this question. Amount to invest, which was 10 million. Now we have seen that. The next thing we also need to do after making that combination, we should also get the return for that combination. So let us also calculate the expected return of each combination. So we start with this first one. We start off with this first one. Expected return of project 1 plus project 2. That is now this first combination we have selected. Project 1 and the project 2. One we get is expected return. So we use these proportions. We use the proportions. So project 1 is 6 million. The total is 10 million. So confirm in the question, return over the 2 years. Are we able to see the return over the 2 years for project 1? 20 what? 22. You multiplied by 22. We also add project 2, it is 4 millions, also divided by 10 millions. We multiplied by expected return for project 2. Project 2 has how much? 26. So we combine them together. That's now the expected return of that combination. That's now the expected return for that particular combination. That is now the expected return of that combination. That is now the expected return for that combination. So it will give us around which. So someone to give me the figure you are getting from. So it is giving us 23.6. We get 23.6. So it is giving you 23.6. But I had said that there is some information in the note number 3. There is some information in the note number 3, where they say that the unit requires a return of what percent? 24%. Are you able to see the 24%? So this combination is now rejected. This combination is rejected because it is giving a return which is less than what? 24. So this one will not be analyzed. So this one you indicate rejected. That combination is rejected because it is giving you a return which is less than 24. It is giving you a return which is less than 24. It is giving us a return which is less than 24. So that's why we reject it. In the note number 3, they have said the unit require 24%. So in the case it is 24% or above, we shall accept. But if it will be less than 24, we reject. That's now the first combination. We also got the second combination. So this one will be expected return for project 2 plus project 3. We also now get the expected return for projects 2 and 3. So it is 4 millions divided by 10 millions. So projects 2 return is 26. Then we also add 6 millions divided by 10 millions. But this one we multiply by a return of. So project 3 has a return of what? It is 28. So we also confirm that combination is giving us which return. So we also confirm that particular combination is giving us which return. 27.2. So this one is accepted. This one is accepted because the return is greater than 24. So that combination of 2 and 3, we shall accept it because it is returns is greater than 24. So we go to the next combination. So the next combination, we calculate expected return for project 2 and project 4. We also compute expected return for project 2 and project 4. So it is 4 millions divided by 10 millions. Expected return for project 2, remember it was what? Was it 26? Yes. Then 6 million divided by 10 million. What do we have as the return for project 4? It is 34. So you also combine that one, then we see what we should be able to get from it. For 30.8. So this one is also accepted. That combination is accepted because it is giving you a return of greater than 24. The next combination, we also calculate expected return for project 1 and also project 4. So the money market, not for project 1 and also the money market. So this one for project 1 and the money market, it is going to be 6 millions divided by 10 millions. So project 1 has a return of 22. Then now also 4 millions for the money market divided by 10 millions. So what do we have as the return for the money market? Money market has a return of 80. So we also confirm that return. $20.4. So this one is rejected. This one is rejected. So the next one, we also calculate expected return of project 2 plus the one for the money market. So it will be 4 millions divided by 10 millions. So project 2 has a return of 26. Then we also get for the money market, it is now 6 millions divided by 10 millions. But we multiplied by 18. We multiplied by 18. So that one also rejected. That one is also meant to be rejected. It's also meant to be rejected. Then there is also expected return of project 3 plus the money market of project 3 plus the money market. So this one would be, so it is 6 millions divided by 10 millions. We multiply by project 3 has a return of what? 28. Also now the money market is 4 millions divided by 10 millions. But this one we multiply by what? 15. So it should give us which part? 24. So this one you accept when it is giving you the minimum return. So that one you accept. It is not a loss, a profit. So you just accept. This one is accepted. Then the last one is expected return for project 4 plus now the money market. So what you do, you also take 6 million divided by 10 multiplied by. So project 4 has a return of what? It's 34. So that one is giving us its return. 26. So this one is now also accepted. So from this analysis that we gave, finally, we are only accepting for combination. You see, we had combined these ones. There were 7 combinations which were adding up to 10 million. But now there was another limiting factor. Any combination you make should give you a return of either 24 or above. So from this now analysis, we have only accepted 4 combinations. This one and that, then this, but the rest now are rejected. Now we narrow down to what combination we have accepted. We now narrow down to the combination that we have done accepted, because the question wanted you to use mean variance, dominance rule to evaluate how to invest. So mean variance is the same as coefficient of variation. Mean variance is the same as coefficient of variation. So we shall be explaining how it works. So let us first also see how to get that mean variance or coefficient of variation. So the question wanted you to get the mean variance, which is the same as coefficient of variation. So we write that it is the relative measure of the risk. It is the relative measure of the risk. It is the relative measure of the risk, and it indicates the risk per unit of return, and it indicates the risk per unit of return. It indicates the risk per unit of return. It indicates the risk per unit of return. Then we continue also by writing that the lower the coefficient of variation, the less risky the project is. The lower the coefficient of variation, the less risky the project is. The less risky the project is. So I want now to give you the formula on how to calculate that coefficient of variation. How to compute the coefficient of. So to get the coefficient of variation, coefficient of variation is supposed to be given by the coefficient of variation is supposed to be given by the standard deviation for the portfolio divided by expected return of the portfolio. So coefficient of variation is supposed to be given by the standard deviation of the portfolio. We divide by expected return of the portfolio. So now we only deal with the accepted combination. We only deal with the accepted combination. So the first accepted combination, we have it is project 1 and project 4. Project 2 and 3. It is project 2 plus project 3. So we need to compute the standard deviation of project 2 plus project 3. So to get the standard deviation of project 2 and 3, to get the standard deviation for project 2 and 3, is also a weighted average, where project 2 is 4 millions divided by the total of 10 millions. So you confirm in the question, what do we have as the standard deviation for project 2? Are you able to see the standard deviation, expected standard deviation of return over the 2 years for project 2? It is 9. Multiplied by 9. We also add 6 million divided by 10 million. But this one, are you able to see the standard deviation for project 3? What is there as the expected standard deviation for project 3? 15. So multiplied by 15, then we add them together. So anyone to give me the figure you have calculated? We get 12.6. So now you compute coefficient of variation for that project 2 plus project 3. So this one will simply be the standard deviation of project 2 plus project 3 divided by expected return of project 2 plus project 3. So standard deviation is what we have just calculated. It's 12.6. So I want you to confirm what was the expected return for that combination we calculated. What was the expected return when you combine project 2 and 3? 27.27.2. So that is now for our first combination. That's now the coefficient of variation for the first combination. It is now the coefficient of variation for the first combination. Yeah, so now we got the second combination that we accepted. It was which project and which project? Project 2 and 4. So we go to project 2 and project 4. So even this one, you compute the standard deviation for project 2 plus project 4. You compute that standard deviation. So project 2 and project 4, this one is 4 million, also divided by 10 million. So we have been given the standard deviation for project 2. It is 9 million, isn't it? Yeah, then there is also 6 millions divided by 10 millions. So we get the standard deviation for project 4. It is given as 13. So also calculate that standard deviation of the second combination that we had accepted. $11.4. So once we get that, we should now also be able to calculate what is supposed to be the coefficient of variation for project 2 plus project 4. You simply need to come up with the standard deviation, which is 11.4. Then confirm to me what was the expected return for that combination. 30.3. So that is now our coefficient of variation for the combination number 2 that we accepted. For the combination number 2 that we have. You are getting 0.1. Yes. Yeah, so we go to the next combination that we accepted. We also go to the next combination that we accepted. So the next combination that we accepted was project what and what? Project 3 and the money market. We now also go to project 3 and the money market. So we start by calculating the standard deviation of project 2 plus the money market. Project 3 and the money market. So it is 6 millions divided by 10 millions. So this one we multiply by what? 15. The next one is supposed to be 4 millions divided by 10 millions. But this one we multiply by 12. 75. So we get the value for that. Yes, 11. So once you get that, now we get the coefficient of variation for project 3 plus the money market. So standard deviation is 11. What was there as expected return? We calculated 24. And finally, we got the last combination. The last combination that we accepted was which project and which project? So we go to project 4 plus the money market. We go to project 4 plus the money market. So first, get the standard deviation for project 4 plus the money market. So it will be for this 6 millions, project 4, this 6 millions, divided by 10 million. So what is the standard deviation for project 4? 13. So money market will now be 4 millions, also divided by 10 million. But this one you multiply by 5, so that we get which value? What point is 9.8. So now we get coefficient of variation for project 4 and the money market. So standard deviation is 9.8. What was expected return for that combination? 27. So we now check which one has the lowest coefficient of variation. That's now the optimal project that we shall narrow down. So which one has the lowest? Project 4 and the money market. Yeah, so now we conclude by noting that the optimal project combination is where coefficient of variation is minimum. The optimal project combination is where coefficient of variation is minimum, is where the coefficient of variation, the optimal project combination is where coefficient of variation is minimum, is where the coefficient of variation is minimum. Therefore, select a combination of, when you appear project 4 and the money market. Therefore, select a combination of project 4 and the money market. So we select a combination of project 4 and the money market. We now select a combination of project 4 and the money market. So that was now our part A of the question, where they said using the mean variance. So we go to part B. So part B, they had asked you to determine the beta and required rates of return for the portfolios. Then use the capital asset pricing model to evaluate how the investment of 10 million, how to make the investment of the 10 million. So we shall be using the security market line to show whether it is super efficient, efficient, or inefficient, where you calculate the alpha value. So the one which will have a higher excess returns, that's the combination we should select. Then also, we narrowed down. Remember, we accepted only 4 combination. We only narrowed down to the 4 combination so that we can now assess which one are we going to accept. So part A was portfolio theory. That part B is Capel. The part B is meant to be Capel. So the part B is meant to be Capel. Part B is meant to be Capel. So when we are using this particular approach, first, we shall compute the beta factor of, let's say, X. So to get the beta factor, as for this question, it will be correlation coefficient between X and the market multiplied by the standard deviation of X divided by the standard deviation of X. So we need to get the beta factor. You see, they have said under this part B, determine the betas and required rates of return for the portfolio. So we shall first compute the beta factor for each project. So among the combination, you see the combination we accepted. There was project 1, isn't it? The book confirmed. Among the combination we have accepted, is there project 1? Yeah, so project 1 is not there. If you check what we have done up there, among the projects that were accepted, project 1 is not there. So it is just ignored. But project 2 is there. Yeah, so we start by calculating the beta factor for project 2. We start by computing the beta factor of project 2. It will be given by correlation coefficient between project 2 and the market portfolio. The market portfolio multiplied by the standard deviation of project 2. Then we divide by the standard deviation of the market portfolio. Yeah, there are 2 items there we should not get confused. Money market and market portfolio. Money market is a different investment. Like now when you invest in the security exchange, that's now the money market, the project number 5. You see there's project 4, 2, so there's project 1, 2, 3, and 4, then also the money market. Money market is an investment on its own. Apart from project 1, 2, 3, and 4, you can also invest in the money market. Money market is the shares with the securities exchange. But they have also given you the market portfolio. Are you able to see the market portfolio? Yeah, that's now what will be representing the market. Yeah. So what are you given as? The correlation coefficient between project 2 and the market portfolio. what are you given as the correlation coefficient between project 2 and the market? So it's the market. So project 2 and the market portfolio. So what are you given? 0.6. Are you able to see 0.65 online? Online, confirm whether you can see. Are we able to see? So it is 0.65. Then multiplied by the standard deviation for project. Remember standard deviation for project 2? It was what? Standard deviation, it is 9. So this is the standard deviation for the market portfolio. The standard deviation for the market portfolio. So to get the standard deviation for the market portfolio, I want you to check before required. You can see before required, they had said that over the 2-year period, risk-free rate is estimated to be what percent? 16%. Market portfolio return is what? 27. And the variance of the return on the market is what? 100%. So when the variance is 100, get the square root of 100 to get the standard deviation. For you to get the variance, we normally square the standard deviation. So this time around, the question has given you the variance. So to get that particular standard deviation for the market portfolio, standard deviation for the market portfolio, get the square root of its variance. Its variance was given as 100. So which means it will be what percent? 10. So this one is going to be, that one is going to be 10. So online, I hope you are comfortable up to that point. How to get that particular variance, standard deviation for the market. So you can round them off to 2 decimal places. You can round them off into 2 decimal places. 0.5. So the next project that was part of the accepted was it project 3. So project 3 is among the accepted combination. So we get the beta factor for project 3. We get the beta factor for project 3, whereby you get the correlation coefficient between project 3 and the market portfolio, multiplied by the standard deviation for project 3, also divided by the standard deviation for the market portfolio. So what do we have as the correlation coefficient between project 3 and the market portfolio? 0.75 multiplied by the standard deviation for project 3. It is 15. Then you also divide by 10. Also divide by 10. Also divide by 10. The next one, the third one, is the beta for project 4. Project 4 was among the combinations that were being accepted. So you get the correlation coefficient between project 4 and the market portfolio, also multiplied by the standard deviation for project 4, also divided by the standard deviation for the market. So correlation coefficient between project 4 and the market portfolio is 0.8. How about the standard deviation for project 4? It's 30. You also divide by 10. So the next one, we also get the beta factor for the market. Money market. So it is the correlation coefficient between the money market multiplied by money market and market portfolio, or for the standard deviation for the money market. Also divided by the standard deviation for the market portfolio. This one is 0.4. Then what is the standard deviation for the money market? It was 5. Also divided by 10. So now 0.4 is ukomwisho kabisa between the money market and the market portfolio. They have given you 0.4. 0.2. So now we go to each pair that we accept. We now go to each pair that we accepted, so that we get the beta for the portfolio. So that we get the beta for the portfolio. So we now go to each combination that we accepted, so that we get the beta for the portfolio. We get the beta factor for the portfolio. So to compute, you want to get the beta for the portfolio. You want to get the beta for the portfolio. So the first combination that you accepted was which combination? Project 2 and project 3. So we are computing the beta factor for this one. Project 2, was it 4 million? Was it 4 million? Divided by 10 million, the proportion in that combination. So remember, we are calculating the beta factor for that combination. So what shall be calculated as the beta factor for project 2? 0.59. Then project 3, the amount is 6 million. We are referring to the amount that is fixed. So we have just calculated what is meant to be the beta for project 3. 1.13. So when you combine them, they should give you 0.91. So we go to the second combination that we accepted, where we get the beta. It was project what and what? Project 2 and project 4. So it is 4 million divided by 10 million multiplied by 0.59, and also 6 million divided by 10 million, but this one we multiply by what? 1.14. So that will give you the beta factor of that combination. Number 3 was which project and which project? Project 3 and so project 3 is 6 millions divided by 10 millions. But this one you multiply by 1.2. Then Money market is 4 millions. Divide by 10 millions. But that one we multiply by what? 1.1. So also 1.14.
Yes.
The money market.
No.
0.2. The last combination was project 4 plus money market. So project 4, it is 6 millions, also divided by 10 millions. So project 4 had a beta factor of 1.14. Then 4 millions divided by 10 millions. So those are the beta factors which you want now to use to determine which
it's so cold. I think that they go like that to you, never able to be born. They told me the opportunity to ngangano. Tengo un trauma. yetu hata kama asubuhi mapema asubuhi as long as gari limejaa hadi tena kama gari limejaa hata gari kidogo kwa
So after that, now we should make a conclusion, which combination we should now accept. So what you do, for that, you have the column for the portfolio. Then return of the portfolio as per the security market, right? Then alpha value expected return from the portfolio minus return. So we shall compute the alpha value in order to know which combination has given the highest excess returns. In order to know which combination has given the highest excess returns. So we start off with the first combination. The first combination is which combination and which combination? The two tunafanya hapo is project 2 plus project. So risk-free rate was given before required. Risk-free rate was given before required as what percent? It is 16%. Then expected return for the market also before required. They gave you which figure? 27, also minus. Then the question had given you the beta factor. We calculated the beta factor for projects. So what beta factor do we have for that? The net compute 2.5 0.91. So we get that return for the portfolio. We now get that particular return. So now to get the alpha value will be equal to expected return of the portfolio is what we started. You remember what was the return for projects 2 and 3? Was it expected return? It was 27.2. Now you minus this one, which is 6. So the next one should be which combination? So it should also be 16 plus in brackets 12. So we have just calculated the beta factor for project P2 and P4. So 0.92. Correct? 26.1. So confirm what was the expected return for that? $13.8. $4.68. Then we go to the next combination that we had previously accepted. It was P1. P3. So this one will also be equal to 16 plus brackets 27 minus 16. So that beta factor is which one? 0.7. Twenty-four. Oh, it was 24. Minus 24.34. So that one is negative. That one, that's good. Then finally, B4 and the element. The last one, was it B4 and the market?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is the beta factor for that? 0.36. Expected return on loss. 97.6. So now we shall be picking a combination with the highest excess returns. We shall now pick a combination with the highest excess returns. Now pick a combination with the highest excess returns. So which combination has a higher excess returns? Project 2 and 4. Yeah, so now we make a conclusion that select a combination of project 2 and 4. Select a combination of project 2 and 4. Project 2 and 4, since it has the highest excess returns. Since it has the highest excess returns. Has the highest excess returns. So let us now have applications of CAPM. We can write down something about applications of CAPM. So where can we apply CAPM? Now got the applications of CAPM. So among the applications, number one will be pricing of the securities. Number one will be pricing of the securities. Pricing of the securities. Price of the securities, i.e., whether they are overvalued, i.e., whether they are overvalued, undervalued, or correctly valued. Whether they are overvalued, undervalued, or correctly valued, or correctly valued. So that's now the application number one. Application number two will be investment decisions. Investment decisions. Investment decisions. Under that, we write that it is applied to determine the discounting rate. It is applied to determine the discounting rate that will be used to evaluate the capital investment. It is applied to determine the discounting rate that will be used to evaluate the capital investment. That will be used to evaluate the capital investment. Number 3 will be cost of capital. Number 3 will be cost of capital. So for the cost of capital, we also write that it is used to determine, it is used to determine, it is used to determine the cost of capital. It is used to determine the cost of capital, i.e. cost of equity, i.e. cost of equity, comma, cost of debenture, cost of the debenture, and the cost of the preference shares, and the cost of the preference shares, and the cost of the preference shares. Number 3, is it number 3 or number 4? Number 4 will be evaluate the portfolios. Evaluate the portfolios. Evaluate the portfolios. So under to evaluate the portfolios, we write that it is used to evaluate the portfolio. It is used to evaluate the portfolio to establish if they are profitable or non-profitable. To establish if they are profitable or non-profitable. To establish if they are profitable or non-profitable, profitable or non-profitable, so as to determine whether to change the composition of the portfolio or not. So as to determine whether to change the composition of the portfolio or not. So as to determine whether to change the composition of the portfolio or not. Then the last one will be efficiency of the portfolio. Efficiency of the portfolio. Efficiency of the portfolio. So under the efficiency of the portfolio is that it is used to determine whether the portfolios are super efficient. It is used to determine whether the portfolios are super efficient. To determine whether portfolios are super efficient, efficient or inefficient. Whether the portfolios are super efficient, efficient or inefficient. Whether the portfolios are super efficient, efficient or inefficient. So let us now look at the differences between portfolio theory and CAPM. We can also have differences between portfolio theory and CAPM. We can look at the differences between the portfolio theory and CAPM. Differences between portfolio theory and CAPM. Differences between the portfolio theory and CAPM. So we can have one side, portfolio theory, the other side, CAPM. We can have one side, portfolio theory, then the other side, CAPM. One side, portfolio theory, then the other side, CAPM. So number 1, on the side of portfolio theory, we write that. So number 1, on the side of the portfolio theory, note that it deals with the business or total risk. It deals with the business or total risk. It deals with the business or total risk, i.e. undiversified portfolio, i.e. undiversified portfolio, i.e. undiversified portfolio. Then on the side of CAPM is that it deals with systematic risk. It deals with the systematic risk. It deals with the systematic risk, i.e., diversified portfolio. I.e., the diversified portfolio. The diversified portfolio. Number two is on the side of portfolio theory is that risk is measured using the standard deviation. Risk is measured using the standard deviation. Risk is measured using the standard deviation. On the other side is that risk is measured using the beta factor or coefficient. Risk is measured using the beta factor or coefficient. Risk is measured using the beta factor or coefficient. Then number three on the side of the portfolio theory is that it uses the capital market line equation. It uses the capital market line equation. It uses the capital market line equation. It uses the capital market line equation to estimate the returns. It uses the capital market line equation to estimate the returns. To estimate the returns. Then on the other side is that it uses security market line equation. It uses the security market line equation. It uses the security market line equation to determine the returns. It uses the security market line equation to determine the returns. To determine the returns. The next one on the side of the portfolio theory, we write that the standard deviation of the market is not equal to 1. The standard deviation of the market is not equal to 1. And the standard deviation of the market is not equal to 1. Then on the side of CAPM is that the beta factor of the market is equal to 1. The beta factor of the market is equal to 1. The beta factor of the market is equal to 1. The last one on the portfolio theory is that the standard deviation of the portfolio. The standard deviation of the portfolio is either the weighted average or weighted difference. The standard deviation of the portfolio is either weighted average or weighted difference. It's either the weighted average or the weighted difference. While on the side of CAPM, is that the beta factor of the portfolio is always the weighted average. The beta factor of the portfolio is always the weighted average. The beta factor of the portfolio is always the weighted average. It's always weighted. So the next subtopic will be portfolio performance measures. So our next subtopic will be portfolio performance measures. Portfolio performance measures. So our next subtopic will be portfolio performance measures. So when we meet now in the next class, we shall start now on the portfolio performance measures. So we can stop there for now. When we meet now in the next class, that is when we shall look at the portfolio performance measures.